The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
For one night only, history, culture, and sports collide. Thanks for joining us. For one of Bermuda's most electrifying and engaging nights on the calendar.
Oh, I feel good. I say it every year.
It's a celebration of legacies, where pride, rivalry, and unity take the field. This is more than a match. This is Cup Match Selection Night. And Bermuda, it's all about you.
There's always going to be those who are disappointed because they didn't make the team. It's not a total surprise that he chose that path, but it breaks my heart still.
Who's a player you feel like St. George's definitely has to take to match up with what you see on Somerset's team? Alrighty, welcome. It's Saturday, the 26th of July, and welcome to Cup Match Selection Night 2025, presented by Bermuda Communications Group and proudly brought to you by HSBC Bermuda. I'm Jamal Hartman, and your team tonight in studio will be one half of the Voice of Summer. We've got Jason Ford, and we've got the current president of Baylor's Bay Cricket Club and former Cup Match star Stephen Outerbridge, and we will soon be joined by former St. George's Cup Match captain, and he was in the team when they last won it, Lionel Cann. We also have Sancha Durham and Matthew Fullerton, who will be up at Somerset Cricket Club, whilst Larry Marshall Jr. and Roger Danbrook will be joining us from St. George's. Greetings, gents. Welcome. Jason, take it away.
We're back. Well, 2025, guys. Man, 365 days has gone by so fast. Just feels like yesterday we did the show. But a lot has happened since then, especially last year's Cup Match. So first things first, welcome to all the viewers. Welcome, Jamal. Welcome, Stevie. Welcome on board once again. Tonight, I think we're going to have a great show. Now, you know what? I know we're going to have a great show. The anticipation for this year's Cup Match, a few things, intriguing things that we will talk about throughout the night. We'll talk about maybe some surprises, maybe not. Will St. George's make another 5 changes? Maybe not. But these are things that we'll get through without tonight. We'll be going to the field, and we'll check on, see who's at the clubs. And as you know, Stephen, as the club man himself, what time do you think you're closing the bar down tonight?
Looking close about 12 o'clock. They have a lot to debate tonight. A few players put their hand up in the trial, so Somerset is going to be very interesting, I think.
And Justin saying that I think St. George will be just as interesting based on some of the young people that they brought in last year, whether they retained their spot. Some of the veterans have showed their face, put their head back in the ring for this year, and be interesting if they even get recalled. So I think these are things that we will definitely have a good time to talk about. But how did we get here, Jamal? How did we get here? Let's recap a little bit about 2024. We had a great show. And the lineup for Somerset, first-time captain, Taryn Frey, who led the team. L.J. Richardson, Trey Mendes, Deion Stovall, Malachi Jones, Stephen Bremer, Derek Brangman, Dominic Sabir, Colt, Jamal Proctor, Colt, Nikhil Walker, and Kamal Levrock. Pay attention to those reserves, because who knows, one of them might even get into the team this year. Alex Stewart, Jaden Mendes, Antonio Darrow. Stephen, I'm going to let you give you the honor for the St. George's team, who played for St. George's last year.
Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
I'm going to let you call up the St. George's team, since one of the things you would love to do today.
Well, if that's St. George's team, I don't know what it was. It don't matter who you pick. But your team I don't know if I can't see it on my screen, so if you can read it, it'll be great. Right, at the end of the day, that's just a losing team. Oh, there we go. So you have Anais Bascom as captain, Dalray Rollins vice captain, Aronde Bascom was a recall, Nazari Pankta, Marcus Cotton, Jonte Smith, Jared Richardson, Makai Simmons, Kevon Fabler, Zico Burgess, Luke Fulton was a Colt, and reserves were Luke Horan, Zari Thomason, who's been playing at Somerset this year, and Azende Farbit.
Once again, keep an eye on those reserves because who knows, one of them might just get into the team.
But yeah, well, I think Zari is going to be in Somerset's team.
Yeah. Well, what a cup match it was in 2024, historic one at that. Somerset batting first. Boy, Kamal Leverock was the man of the, the morning.
What was the record? They set a record, an opening record.
Yeah, they set an opening record. 169 run partnership, overtaking Tarrant and Chris Douglas partnership that at 153 back in 2018. Kamal ended up with 153. I think that really set the platform for the whole match, right? And then followed up, it was Dion Stubble, who ended up being the eventual MVP, taking 12 wickets for the match, 5 wickets in the first innings and 7. And I think if you look at Somerset's team, and we talk about Somerset's team, there's some automatic changes. Richardson is out, injured. So it's going to be interesting to see who they replace with that. Walker hasn't probably had the season that he wanted, especially down at Bay. Steve will know more about that. He did not play last week for Eastern County, but he has been training with the club, and he did play today. As far as St. George's, well, there is a new captain in St. George's. Onias Basil playing his league cricket in St. David's, which has opened up the door for Sinclair Smith, the new captain of St. George's. And that in itself probably raised some eyebrows, but after speaking to many people around the club, there was something that it was probably the best decision what they could have made at the time. Runde Bascom, he's out with injury, so they're definitely going to make a move there. And Luke Fulton, he's out also as far as bowling. I doubt if they'll just take him as a fielder or a batsman. But once again, after watching today's early session of St. George's, the youngster, Luke Horan, I think he's really put his name forward to replace Oronde or Luke, because Luke Horan is an early order batsman, and today he opened the bowling. So, Stephen, we're going to have a few other names we're going to have to debate on. But what was just look back from 2024? What did you take away from that cup match?
Well, for me, it was Kamal. I think Kamal put his hand up and said that, hey, I'm a top player. I think the Somerset team have been waiting for a good period of time for him to really announce his arrival. And that 150 just solidified him at the top, the first time opening batting for Somerset, to show how dominant of a player he is, right? And then we saw on the other side with Dalray. I think as a St. George's supporter, I think he let down the base, right? So it's going to be interesting this year because knowing Dalray, he don't like to be upstaged by no one, but, his talent is immersed. So this year should be very interesting, to say the least.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right when it came to Kamal really setting that standard, but I even for St. George's, I felt the big game players didn't show up for the match.
Yeah.
And that's something that St. George cannot afford with the team that they have, especially when they have to get Somerset out twice. They need the big players to come good on the day. So be interesting going to this cup match. We started off the season with 2020, and we had last 3 to 4 weeks or 4 rounds of 50 overs. Do you think these guys are in open cricket in shape, or how you feel with the fellas now playing 50 overs leading into cup match?
Yeah, well, you had Western Connors, you had Eastern Connors, and then also you had the 50 over league, right? So, with the Connie games, they've been very competitive, even though there's been a few low scores. But the pressure situations have come at both ends, in the western corners, in the eastern corners, which we saw last week. So from that point of view, I think a lot of the players are prepped. But I know just when it comes to the league competition, there's been a few changes. We're not playing as much league matches as we did in previous years, just because they change our format. But you also got to consider, just the dynamics of, the teams that we do have played in the league. So I think it's just something new. I think, at the end of the season, which will probably end in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we will see that, the benefits of having a very short, concise league. But, it just hasn't been the score. So, everybody seems to feel like, they're underprepared, but it's really up to the players, right? It's not about, what happens on a Saturday or Sunday, but, you should be putting in work Monday to Thursday, taking a break Friday, then playing on the weekend. So it's just an interesting time for Bermuda cricket. And I just look forward to see what happens tonight, see what the selectors want to go for. I had a brief look at the wicket, so it's both teams at a very inflection point right now, because some changes will need to be made, but we can only see at the end of the night.
Gents, just want to jump in, just let people know that we are streaming on the Daily Hour Twitter, Facebook page, and the BCG TV YouTube page just for the first hour. After the first hour, you will have to switch over to bcgtv.com. So it's better you switch now. Also, if you guys can just explain, there are a lot of people who love cut match. They love the banter and everything. Somerset went into bat last year, and pretty much the game was over after that opening partnership. Explain the importance of, first off, I don't even remember who won the toss, right? But explain the importance of winning the toss, because I don't think a lot of people understand the purpose of the toss, like what it means strategy-wise, and then the wickets. There was a Cann game last week where it was very low scoring, and people were saying, well, it's a bowler's wicket. No one's making runs on it. If you can give some details and shed some light on those two things.
Jason, you want to go?
No. I'll leave it to the captain, a former captain, because he's had to make this decision many times, right?
Yeah.
I'll give Mike backwards, though.
No, so, the wicket, one, is important, and obviously the toss, right? So let's just take, last week, for instance, right? So obviously we had a lot of rain around. There was no covers on the wicket for a period of time, so the wicket had a lot of moisture. And moisture pretty much benefits a bowling team. Ball hits the ground, hits the wicket, and it moves, deviates. You get a little bit of swing, overcast, so it makes it kind of tough for batsmen. So as a captain, when you're going out to take your toss, you want to win the toss so you can, put the other team in. And as you saw, psychological, knowing that the wicket is going to be in the favor of a bowling team, it played a lot on the batsman. I can speak from experience, and then a lot of the Bay players, they're seeing what's happening, a lot of talk, you sat around, you waited, and then once you lose that toss, you're really up against it. And if you don't switch on one time, it really puts you behind. And we saw that early in Bayless Bay's innings. But again, cricket is psychological. You saw Derek Brangman just, he dug in. And, once he got in, he was able to score a good bit of runs. So from a strategic point of view, you have to look at the elements, and see what's best, and those elements, and then also your team as well. What's your team strength? If you have, quality seamers, then hey, I want to take a bill first because I want to build these guys out, skill them out for as least as possible. Or if you're a batting team, if you bat deep and you want to bat a team out of the game, right? And this is where I think when you look at both Somerset and St. George's teams, Somerset have pretty much an all-round team. They bat deep, but they also build deep as well. They got, a team of all-rounders. So it really don't matter on the day or on the wicket, because if they prepare a batting paradise, then they got all the batsmen, right? And if they prepare something that seams, is green, got a bit of moisture, then they have the seamers in Kumo, Malachi, and McKeel, and even Proctor. But again, that's up to Somerset what dynamics they go with. But then you look at on the other side, I just think St. George's is just a bit light in a few departments, but they're starting to get the team together. But I think again, right now we're looking at a whitewash very early. So Thursday at 2:00, the party's on.
Before the team's even chosen, my goodness, Jason. But to the toss, and the conditions.
So I mean, just to piggyback on Steven, yeah, the conditions definitely play a role. Even the atmosphere, right? Especially talking about rain around, cloud cover, ball seems to seam a bit around, just swing around a bit. But once again, to piggyback off of Steven, it all depends how your team is set up, right? If your team is heavy loaded betting, sometimes teams want to bet first to just bet the other team out. It's just as simple as that. I knew some captains back in the day. I mean, early they don't even care. We want to go and bet first and bet the team out. And they felt that once they got on top of their betting lineup was so long, and especially you're talking about now the last month we've had some record temperatures. X amount of days over 90 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
You had the team out there for 5 hours, about 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours. They are not used to that. Unless they're working it Monday to Friday, they are not used to that heat. So even look at last cup match. St. George took a lot of sun.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, even for the youngsters, Scotland, he would keep the first innings for St. George, then came early in the innings, and then suffered a cramp later part of the day. So that just tells you it again, right? Is the toss could mean a lot just based on how your team is set up. Now, then it's the wicket. And Stephen, like you said, I was amazing because even today down in St. George, looking at the wicket, so, as the groundsman, you want to make sure that you provide the best opportunity for, number one, your bowlers, because right now St. George's has to get 20 wickets, but also that the batsman could, be able to make runs.
Yeah.
Now, just think about it. Does a green top suit St. George's or Somerset? Or if the wicket's taking spin, is it helping St. George's or Somerset? And those questions will be answered tomorrow, this week, Thursday and Friday. I bet you.
Yeah. So, like I said, I looked at the wicket today, and as Jamal, I don't know if you know this terminology, but yes, it is a green top. It's covered. They didn't play on it in the trial today, but the wicket that they said that they're going to use is full of grass. They're not going to use the heavy roller, so the heavy roller will kind of flatten it out, make it play kind of evenly. But if they continue what they said, then I think we definitely will get a result. Because 2 days of cricket, we're talking about the elements, the heat, the dehydration, that that we saw last year, and this year is much harder. So any team that's going to be out in their field for an excess of 4 or 5 hours, you're going to see a few players go down. So unfortunately, some of our players are not in the best of shape. So it's going to definitely impact the result.
And Jamal, I just add to that also, Jamal.
Real quickly, Jason, just want to let the audience know. Thank you, Teresa Stewart, reposting this. Just want to remind you that we're only going to be on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube for the first hour. After that, you want to go on the website. Just follow the instructions to get into the website. Follow the instructions. We'll be going live to one of the fields in a few. But Jason, go ahead, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So just also add with the wicket, right? Take, for instance, last week, right? So early part, there was wet due to the weather. So the first innings, dominated by seam bowling. But the second innings, I should say the innings of flats, I think all but one was out by spin. So, the wicket does change. Sometimes too fast for players or too fast for teams. But those are the variables, and that's why this game is where it is. It's a very humbling game. You can get a century today, and tomorrow you get a duck. So it's very humbling in that. But that's why it's such a great game, because the variables, there's so many variables. And Steve, a question for you. St. George's this year only going with, I believe, 2 trials, where historically they like to do 3 to 4 trials. This year they've changed up and just been, I believe, just 2 trials. What's your thoughts on that? Some say that's basically for the last 10 years or so, just going with 1 trial, the last trial. What do you think of something to that?
When it comes to the trial, I'm not a big fan of trials because, if you play 3 trials, the first trial don't really mean anything. You couldn't, I'm seeing guys score. I mean, when Somerset had it probably about 15, 20 years ago, a number of guy had scored 200s in the first 2 trials. I mean, he didn't get runs in the last and didn't make the cup match team, right? So I just think they, people don't pay too much attention to them. It's the final trial that matters, and that's what it should be, because the result is 2 days of cup match, so the final trial should be is close to what the reality is going to be when it comes to cup match. So I'm a big fan of 1 trial.
You've got to go to St. George's, see what's happening out at the field. But before that, let's bring in one of my favorite people. I like him better than Stephen during cup match time. Of course, I like Stephen better during Connie game time. Let's welcome former captain of St. George's, and he was in the team the last time that they lifted the cup in 2011. He's a bit older now, but let's welcome Lionel Cann also to the show. Lionel, you're on mute. The audience needs to hear you. They need to hear you. What's happening, Skip?
Hey, evening, guys. How's everybody?
Everybody's good. We're bringing you in.
Cann.
Can you hear me?
Just having some audio challenges. Can you hear us? All right, we're gonna take Lionel out, and then we'll come back. We'll go to St. George's. Let's head down to St. George's. We've got Roger and Larry Marshall Jr., who will be, letting us know what's the energy in the atmosphere, because according to Stephen, they should be getting ready for another white one, right? Let's see what they're saying. Gents, how you doing?
How you doing, guys?
Good.
Happy cup match selection night. We are having some technical difficulties, so right now we guys can't hear you in studio, but we're just going to share what we have seen. Raj has been around the field, a lively atmosphere here at St. George's Cricket Club. Of course, the fans are extremely optimistic about the team. They were happy with what they saw today from a few players. I myself was able to talk to the chairman of cricket, Ms. Terry Pankter, and the president. They are actually going up already. They said they do not intend on being here all night, so we're looking forward to that. But the business has started. They have already, long before we was on the air, had already started the selection process. Raj, you want to touch base on what you saw around the field?
Yeah, the vibes are immaculate. People are really happy to be here today. Everyone who observed the trial match was very impressed by what they saw. They said there was a certain level of intensity and focus that they haven't seen in the last few cup matches. So now we all know athletics is not my expertise, but people are excited, so I'm excited too. And everyone is really just looking forward to having a positive, fun cup match, despite whatever the result of the game is. So.
Yeah, and to be honest, we expect everything. You have some of the kids around. They were shouting out St. George's once they kind of knew what was going on. So at the end of the day, we're looking to have a successful team. I was listening in, and I know the gentleman that represents Somerset, Mr. Stephen Outerbridge, had a lot to say about one thing. And we'll touch more later with I'm sure Mr. Cann will bring in what St. George's would need to do, but it was a few interesting comments from around the field. Certain individuals do have their teams. I'm seeing a few mock teams on some fans' phones. So it's live and on and popping, guys. So back to you, and we will hope to sort everything out and get good.
All righty. Thanks so much to Larry and Roger. Gents, St. George's going in early. They're feeling confident. Speak to that.
Well, first things first, Jamal, the trial ended early.
Steven, you're laughing. So
I
basically,
mean, what else you gonna do? You're just sitting around. Might as well go do some work. Well, I'm just saying that. I say that because I left Somerset. About 6:30, and the match was still going on. So, yeah. Also, another tidbit last year, and after speaking with a few people up Somerset last year, actually Somerset had the team in early. Actually, what the hold up was actually not even the executive, it was the membership. And once again, I think we explained it, and later on we will explain how that process is. Once the selectors select the team, where does it go after that before you get the final team? But Stephen, any thoughts on early deliberation?
At the end of the day, I think at the end of the day, listen, it's only 11 players you can pick, right? St. George's have experimented for the last 13 years. So it don't make no sense. Is nobody coming out of the sky, nobody coming from the ground. You know that you're only going to pick 11 players because 22 played today. You take out 5 that don't have a chance. So they're going to put the team in a hat, and whoever comes out, that's the team. So, hey, just got the process out there.
He makes it sound so easy, doesn't he, Jamal?
No, I usually wouldn't criticize any of my family members on the show, but my father's in Outerbridge. And I think it's this Outerbridge thing that this Somerset Outerbridge thing just it's nauseating. But you know what? St. George's, this should be inspiration. This should be motivation for you. This should be you should want to shut Stephen up. You want to quiet these Outerbridges. This is on you, because I could take the trash talk. I can't take losing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't play no more. So I can say whatever I like, and it's not bait, So the Bay, I'm quiet. I'm telling you, I don't say nothing. Bay is very passionate, but Somerset, at the end of the day, look, we know the reason, and at the end of the day, we just have this banter, right? And we talked, was it about 2 days ago, where we said, look, it's been 13 years. I think we really need to consider, Somerset playing another team. I think that should be up for discussion. That's just my
wow.
It's getting ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
We have to take our first commercial break. But Selena Simon says, it's Stephen's bluntness for me. LOL. Folks, do us a favor. If you're tuned in, make sure you let as many people as you know, Cup Match fans, Bermudians, everybody's a Cup Match fan. It's Bermuda. Let them know that they can catch this Cup Match Selection night stream on bcgtv.com. Tune in. Again, the first hour is going to be streaming throughout social media platforms, but after the first hour, we will be going strictly on bcgtv.com. We're going to take a quick commercial break, our first commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we got Lionel in the back. We'll be bringing Lionel Cann to balance this out, because right now, Somerset's beating up St. George's in here. Somerset's beating us up. So, guys, when we come back, can you just go in detail? I know Jason just said that the trial in St. George's ended early, right? That means it was low scoring. So maybe you can give the audience a bit of insight as to that. And then I think someone struck a century up Somerset today. Yes?
Yep, Dominic Sabir.
All right. We were trying to tease that, but he just told you. So we'll take this break, come back, folks. Do not go anywhere. And Lionel Cann coming up to defend St. George's crown, or lack thereof.
Ready to take your financial game to the next level? HSBC is here to help you power up your financial fitness.
Just like a pro athlete preparing for a big match, your financial strategy should be sharp, focused, and ready for anything. Let's be honest. Hoping for a lucky break won't get you to the top. Whether it's securing your future, growing your wealth, or planning for life's next big serve, HSBC's experts are here to make sure you're playing your best game. We're here to give you the tools, the strategy, and the expertise to get you where you want to be. From budgeting to investing, we'll help you craft a plan that's as unique as your goals and provide free financial planning consultations to make sure you stay on track to reach them. Your vision, our support. Learn more at hsbc.bm/financial planning. HSBC, opening up a world of opportunity.
HSBC Bank Bermuda is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Good day, I'm Clay Smith.
My name is Najee Mawson.
My name is Jonte Smith.
My name is Kyle Hatu. My favorite part about Cup Match Weekend is community coming together to enjoy the great game of cricket.
The camaraderie, the rivalry, everything is just that real Bermudian culture.
I eat, drink, sleep Cup Match. I had no choice but to follow in my brother's footsteps.
I think there's nothing like the first ball of Cup Match. When you take your lap around the field, the horns are going off, everyone's cheering you on, and it really does feel like half the island's behind you.
When was the last time you read your home insurance policy wording? Be honest. If you can't remember or you're pretty sure that the answer is never, you're not alone. Now is the perfect time to revisit your cover to ensure that you and your family are protected this hurricane season. At Friesenbrook, we believe in great personal service, quality insurance coverage, and unbiased advice. Make sure your home and possessions are secure before the storm. Call us at 296-3600. At Friesenbrook, we provide quality products you can count on.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did you say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lewis Brown Evans? Where do you find that?
Mommy played Bermuda Trivia.
Mommy played Bermuda Trivia.
Oh, honey. I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
All righty, welcome back. Everyone's in studio. We've got Jason Ford, can't see him, but he's there. We've got Stephen Outerbridge. We've got Lionel Cann. I'm Jamal Hartman. Lionel.
Evening, gentlemen.
You heard?
Hey, guy.
You heard Stephen. You know, he had a lot to say. He knew you weren't in the building yet, so he felt comfortable talking about, you know, what he was saying. But bring us up to speed. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I was coming in tonight, humble, peaceful, but listen to that little episode with Stephen. I might as well come out of the blocks. I mean, I'm getting too confident up there. What you think? Yeah, but it's Cup Match time, like he says. He's not playing anymore, so he can talk. He didn't talk like that when he was playing. So, you know how it is. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's Cup Match time, right? It's the time of year you're around, looking at the flags, the colors, the banter, the people. It's Cup Match time.
Yeah. Jason mentioned earlier, after Larry informed us from St. George's, Larry and Roger told us that they were told that St. George's is not playing games. They're already meeting, you know, to prepare and release their team. And Jason responded, well, it was over early. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, the trials are always over early on St. George's because the wickets always do a little more turning, staying low, especially when you're trying to win the trophy. Up Somerset, they prepare Batsman's Paradise. Always trial matches is always, so it's always a lot of runs scored up Somerset, get the batsman in good nick. But trials down St. George's doesn't say what your players are like. It's just that it's competition on both sides. I feel real confident this year. A lot of good little youngsters trying out for Cup Match. I see, you know, and we have Clay is running the boys through their paces, and anybody who knows Clay, he knows how to put a team together and a game plan. So I'm confident that we've got a young team we're building. You know, it's a cycle. Some's having that little turn, but all it takes is for one good spell and you're in the match and you can win Cup Match easy.
Well, Jamal, I actually have the scorecard in front of me, so just in case for the folks who might want to hear about the scorecard today. The vice president's been in batted first. Opened up with Jonte Smith and Jared Richardson. Jonte ended up with 65, Jared 6. Mackay Simmons came in first wicket down. He was dismissed for 2. O.J. Pitcher Jr. came in. After that, knocked up 26. Had a couple of drop catches. He had a couple of lives in his 26. Unias Baskin was looking good, but was dismissed by a great catch by Aaron Painter for 36. Justin Pitcher had a beautiful cover drive for 4, and then actually was out soon after that. For 4, Clay Darrell out for 12, Mackay McGowan out for 22, Kevon Fowler out for 10, Seth Campbell out for 5, Jamar Stowell. Bowling figures for St. George's, Zika Burgess bowled 6 overs, 2 for 22. Luke Horan bowled 6 overs, none for 14, but he bowled quite well. He bowled on all the good areas that are opening bowl, especially, you really want to open the bowl a bowl. Isaiah O'Brien, 4 overs, none for 20. Keegan Jones bowled quite a bit today in the trial. Youngster. I mentioned, be careful that I might tell you, watch that name because he was a junior reserve last year for St. George's. He bowled 12 overs, 3 for 61. Aaron Painter bowled 2, none for 12. Isaiah Greaves bowled 6 overs, 2 for 30. And Zari Painter, and I think he could have done himself a favor today picking up a few wickets, but bowled 4 overs, none for 19. Brian Hall, 4 overs, 1 for 9. And Charles Trott Jr., 4.1, 2 for 4. Now, if you go to and they knocked out 193 all out. Well, then it was the President's group went in. Presidents opened up with Marcus Scotland and Zari Painter. Scotland out for 33, Painter out for 18. Keegan Jones came in first wicket down, out on 23. Isaiah O'Brien, another youngster, out on 29. Charles Trott, 51 today. Luke Horan batted down the order, out for 8. Brian Hall, 21 not out. Sinclair Smith, out first ball, caught behind off the bowling of Darrell. And Aaron Painter not out on 11. Mackay McGowan bowled 7 overs, none for 32. Kevon Fowler opened up the bowling for the Presidents. 7 overs, 1 for 43. Jamar Stowell, 5 overs, 2 for 25. Seth Campbell, 4 overs, none for 18. Justin Pitcher, 6 overs, 2 for 52. And Clay Darrell, 3 overs, 2 for 24. Stephen, I'm going to ask you because Tip already mentioned what he wanted to mention about the trial match, but what you think about just scores in general? Anybody stood out for you in that trial match for St. George's?
I actually went to St. George's this morning. So contrary to Lionel's belief, it was no balls scooting around. It was no balls turning. It was actually a bed in paradise. So again, back to my earlier point, is that, listen, we know St. George's, have a few difficulties in a few areas that, they do have a lot of young players, so a lot of inexperience coming through. So let's just call a spade a spade. The game is going to be over on Thursday at 3 o'clock, right? So, but looking at St. George's team, was very interesting with CJ. What did he say? He got a 52, 51?
Yes, 50. Hold on, he got
yeah, I think he said he got 50 or right?
Okay.
Yeah, 50 or 50.
To Somerset. So hold that thought, and then we'll talk about some of the Somerset trial after that. But let's go over to Somerset. I think we'll bring Lionel back in a second, but we want to go to Somerset. Bring in, I believe we've got Sancha up there with Trenton is the vice president, I believe, Somerset Cricket Club. So let's see, Sancha, can you hear us? I'm on mute. Okay, they're on mute up in Somerset. Can't hear them, so we'll bring them back in a few, but they're on mute. Let's see if just continue real quickly, gents. You were talking about the teams.
Yeah, 51. Yeah. 51.
Okay. Yeah, we was talking about CJ. So I mean, that's that's very interesting. obviously when people are talking about the teams, he wasn't a name that has come up because he's been injured, right? I think he broke his leg a few months ago. So he's been, I think, in and out of cricket for the last 2 or 3 years. Because I think he's broke his leg twice, to be honest. So yeah, that's an interesting pick. The other piece that I think they miss out on is that I think they have a jam, but they continue to overlook. And I say that is because the team's been struggling for the last 3 or 4 years. Cup match, and St. George's continue to overlook him. So for me, I would go with some.
All right, Stephen having a bit of trouble
and bring him into
with your internet. It's going in and out. So we're just going to go over to Somerset. Bring Sancha in. Sancha, go ahead. What you got for us?
Good night. Good night. How are you, Jamal? I'm saying specifically, Jamal. How are you? Can you hear us? Phil.
No, I can hear you. I'm just.
Oh, you're just silent. You're right. That's what losers do. Right. Sorry. I'm sorry. You don't have any backup tonight either. Anyway, good night, everyone. I'm here with Trent. He is the vice president of Somerset. This is your first time as vice president.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does that feel?
It feels good. I mean, it wasn't expected.
Uh-huh.
I had a conversation with Richard, and I said, I will take up the mantle. Work like this is selfless, it's thankless,
right.
Volunteer. But it's great to help out the community.
So I know you were here for the trials all day today.
Yeah, most of the day. I had my daughter here, but I was trying to watch as much as I could.
How did that go?
It went good. I think we look good.
So I know St. George's finished early.
Wow.
We finished not too long ago.
Yeah, exactly.
So that speaks volumes.
It does.
Now I know St. George's have gone in to pick their team. Has Somerset Selections team gone in already?
Yes, they're up there now discussing it.
Okay.
So might be. I don't think it's gonna be too late, but it might be a couple of little questions there. But I know they'll do a great job. We have great selectors up there.
Do you have anyone that you feel like needs to be in this team?
I don't want to speak on that, but I know the selectors will do their job.
Okay. And lastly, how long do you think that this process will take this year? Because I know it's been times in the past where we've been there for a while.
It might take a little longer. Most of the team should be pretty consistent.
Right.
Like LJ is out this year, he's not playing this year, so might be some discussions there.
And for those that don't know, why is LJ out this year? For those people that aren't into cricket and
from my understanding, it's just personal reasons.
okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's all. So clearly you have to replace great batsmen.
Okay.
So might be some discussions. So other than that, I think that but they'll do a good job. Great selectors up there.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And back to you in the studio. I think we're actually going to have Fully. He has a player lined up to interview. So we'll shoot to you, Jamal, and then Fully we'll be right back with Fully. Yeah?
Thanks so much, Santa.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I purposely, I'm not talking to Sancha. I'm not talking to people who want to tease me. I love me some Sancha. The banter we have, honestly, I love Cut Match. I said we had the presidents on the Daily Hour this week, and I think it's one of the times where we can actually banter without getting personal. Like it's real cool banter. It's that time where you can tease people about what they're wearing, how they look, who they cheer for. Keep it cool, keep it respectful. I mean, actually, we can be disrespectfully good. We can. I love it. But Jason, that brings me to you though. Anybody who's watched Cup Match Selection Night and listens to the voice of summer, they're like, this is the guy Dr. King wonders about. He always seems so neutral.
That's a good thing about it. That's a good thing about it. Even up in Somerset today, they're still trying to figure out who. Those who know. That's what I'll say. Those who know, right?
Let's bring Lionel back in. Go ahead. We can't hear Lionel. Oh, it's on mute again. You got to take yourself off mute.
Jason, Jason came up wrong word. Everybody knows if you play for Warwick who your Cup Match team is. That's not a trick. Everybody knows who is this for. Come on,
the
man.
audience don't know. Tell them.
Bayless Bay and Warwick are strictly Somerset.
Okay.
strictly Somerset.
he's still not letting us know, folks.
Any mixed up, any people that are mixed up where you got Somerset and St. George's and St. David's people.
Let's go back out. Let's go back out to Somerset. We've got Fully is with Malachi Jones. So let's go straight to Fully, guy. Let's bring him in. Let's see what he's got to say. Fully, what you got for us, bro?
Yes. Good evening, gentlemen. How you all doing this evening?
But it's good.
Hey, evening. Good.
All right. This is my first venture into the Daily Hour Cup Match Selection Show 2025, and I am joined right now by a living legend, Malachi Jones. He told me off camera. I'm going to get him to tell you guys. Mally, how long have you been playing Cup Match? What year would this be should you get picked?
I think this would be year 19, started in 2006.
19 years of Cup Match. That's why I call you a living legend. I mean, you burst onto the stage internationally, but Cup Match, you rise to the occasion. You've been around for almost 2 decades. What's it like being one of the senior players in the squad now? You've come from being one of the youngsters right up to being one of the senior players. What's that like?
I'm actually enjoying it a little more now, Cup Match, because as being one of these senior guys on the team, you don't have to do as much. Like when I first started, it was a little different because, you know, you was a youngster, you was running in, you had to keep building. You was looking to break through, get the wickets and things of that nature. But now it's more of just making sure that we make the right decisions, bringing the youngsters through, and make sure that the cup stays in Somerset for a very long time.
And that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
You're a team-based player. You'll do whatever's required of you, whether it's bowling, pace, spin, batting. You're what you call a three-point player. What's the preparation like, though? Is it any different for you? Like I said, you are a professional. You have a professional mindset. But is the preparation different in year 19 than it was in year 1? Or is it that same focus because you want to retain the cup?
Cup match it's big. You know, I've never missed a cup match from the first day I was born. I think I was born in June. Well, not think, but I was born June 26th, and cup matches in July, August. So from 2 months old, I've been there from ball 1. So it's bigger to me, but the preparation wise, it's just like you have to put your best foot forward always. So preparation, you just pick yourself up. You find a way to pick yourself up cup match because it just means so much, not just to me, not just to my family, but to the community. So it's like there's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. So you have to find it within yourself to get ready. Not so much preparation in terms of training and doing actions and things like that nature. It's more, I think it's more mental for me now than it was back then. Back then it was a little different.
We seem to be grooming a nice crop of youngsters up here at Somerset. We have some talent on show. We had some talent on show today in our trial. Of course, our team's pretty set. There's a few changes that will be made. Obviously, LJ's right. But this next group of youngsters, what do you see from them, and how do you see the future looking for Somerset when you choose to step off the stage?
Well, it definitely looks bright. It's a lot of talent up here. But I just think they need to get that X factor. I think they don't have that. I think this new generation of cricketers, not just of Somerset, but island-wide, are somewhat spoon-fed, entitled type of vibe. So it's like, I just think that the youngsters today need to look at the past players and look what they had to do and just find a way to win. Like, I don't think we have natural winners anymore, but it's easy to come into a team like Somerset because we've done all the hard work already. So, but once we leave, I don't know how it's gonna go. The talent's there. Talent's definitely there. I just hope that they find within themselves to have the passion that I still have from day one to like keep the cup. You know what I mean?
Right. It's my first year as manager. Team manager.
Okay.
Officially.
Breaking news. You're slipping in the back door.
Not the way I would have liked to have taken over, obviously, but we send OB his best wishes with his medical issues. Sorry, but also coaching wise, Gennaro Tucker, Mr. Cup Match, taking over this year. Has that boosted the training? Has that changed the atmosphere any? Because Tucker's a winner.
Yeah, for sure. Tuck's strictly business. It's came in with a different little outlook on things. It's changed a few things around, and Tuck don't play. I've been around talking my whole life, internationally, locally, Rangers, and he's one of my closest friends. And yeah, talk really don't play. So it's like this year it's been different training vibes. I'm not saying it's been bad or better. It's just he's trying to put his in a little signature on things. That's just something that's new right now.
Yeah, as someone that was just around this week, obviously, is this a last minute promotion for myself? You have noticed that. But the vibes are there. The winning mentality is hopefully there next Thursday and Friday. We're waiting. I think they've gone in upstairs. I wish you all the best. Hopefully, I'll see you Thursday down at St. George's. We'll bring that cup back best. And good luck in your 19 should you get picked.
Thank you, sir.
Jamal, studio, back to you guys.
Thank you, Fully. All right, guys, Gennaro Tucker, taking over.
Well,
nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Talks, right? That was always going to happen once he retired. We knew that Talks is one of the guys that's been into cricket. I don't know how he does it. This guy's into cricket, still scores runs, is still with the youngsters and all of that, and give him his time. Like, you know what I mean? It's irreplaceable. And now he's moved on to another challenge as coaching, and the respect that they have for him, within the club, fans, the players. He don't take no crap. He don't leave any stone unturned. So he's a guy. He's a guy that's going to get the job done. If you're going to try to win that cup, you're not just playing against 11 players and reserves and stuff like that. You're playing against top, Mr. Cup match. And the mind is a winner, has been there, has been on losing side, so he knows the good and the bad. And to win the cup, you're going to have to get through him without him even betting, and Berlin and being on the field. And, it's a legend. You can't say too much about him or enough about him, man. So, I wish him the best. It's his first year. So what you want to do is try to get him under a little bit of pressure, because as Stephen would know, as a coach, you get under a little pressure. As captain, you get under pressure your first year. And it's the same as coaching. You get under a little pressure, but if you give him a year or two to settle in, it could be a long time before we see that trophy. So this is a year that we have to try to put him under pressure. But, he's world class. Can't say enough about him.
Stephen, anything to add on Gennaro Tucker as coach?
Yeah, I actually sat with him for about an hour or two today when I went to Somerset. We talked about various things. We, also talked about, just memories, and also how he set up his team, right? From training and people giving, advice and giving a helping hand in certain areas. And it's not just about Gennaro. It's really about a team. You do have the managers, you have the assistant coaches, and then most importantly, like, you have a lot of Somerset members and executive members who, work behind the scenes. So, we see a team that's successful, but it's not about Gennaro, it's not about Taryn. It's really a huge group, and a lot of times they go thankless. So I think I also take this time to, recognize them, because just being around and seeing, all the women in the kitchen and getting the food ready and getting the clothes ready for all the players, I think they definitely deserve a shuttle. And that's Gennaro's backroom staff that, also help the wheels continue to roll. So, but yeah, he has all the support, right? So, I gave him a few of my thoughts on what I think he should do. I don't know how far it's going to get me, but hey, at the end of the day, I think we all just want a successful result for Somerset.
All righty. Jason, did you have anything to add about Gennaro Tucker taking over as coach?
I missed what you guys said. Hopefully I didn't repeat it, but for what I've seen over the last few training sessions, they have a machine up there, right? I mean, even though there's been a change in coach, the former coach, Jeff Richardson, still attended training sessions. He's still visible. Reggie Tucker, who's just the quiet, and I call him gentle giant because he's just always there. Same way with Mark Trott. He deals with the bowlers. Reggie deals with the fielders. And then Gennaro dealing with fielding and batting. And it was very interesting to see, because some things I didn't see. I won't say I didn't see. I don't see a lot at training sessions, especially with batsmen. And I've seen him stop training sessions and stop and pull the batsman aside and say, hey, this is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do. He is very similar to Herbie Bascom in the sense where they love the intensity at training, because they feel that once in training, if you can't carry it in training, you're not gonna carry it on the field. Herbie Bascom was the exact same way down the east end. The drills are very intensive. They get everybody involved. But with Gennaro up there, that no nonsense attitude and what it was, the standard that was set prior to him, Jeff made, and Stephen probably told him, Jeff made everybody accountable. And that was even the likes of Gennaro and the other guys and Malachi and this. They'll come on you just as hard as the young person, right? Where the running laps around the circumference of the field or the property. Everybody has to do it. So when you saw players come up there, they all had to fall in line. So we wish him all the best, but he does have a great support system up there.
Gents, we've got to take a commercial break. Just want to give thanks to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can do this for a third year in a row. We're going to take this break. After this break, if you are tuned in on Facebook or on Twitter or on YouTube, please note that after this break, you will only be able to watch and engage. Gentlemen in studio will be taking your questions. You can please feel free to send any questions you'd like, Stephen, Jason, and Lionel. But again, after this break, we will only be streaming on bcgtv.com. So you can go on bcgtv.com during this break and join us from there. We'll be back in about 3 minutes, 34 seconds with more from the panel.
Ready to take your financial game to the next level? HSBC is here to help you power up your financial fitness. Your strategy should be sharp and ready for anything, because luck won't get you to the top. Whether securing your future, growing wealth, or planning for life's next serve, HSBC's experts are here for you. From budgeting to investing, let's craft a plan as unique as your goals. Plus, get free financial planning consultations to stay on track. Learn more at hsbc.bm/financial planning. HSBC Bank Bermuda is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Forget the usual. Ditch the ordinary. Go off-grid, where adventure meets barefoot luxury. Welcome to Off-Grid RV Bermuda, the island's first recreational vehicle retreat where nature meets luxury in a fully solar-powered Airstream RV. Enjoy eco-conscious linens, cozy robes, a stove, and full bath in a mobile home. You'll find peace in every detail of your stay. Now accepting bookings for overnight stays and half-day escapes. We deliver and set up your Airstream at one of our 10 hand-picked island gems, or right to your private residence. Whether it's a honeymoon, golf getaway, birthday, or solo recharge, you'll get quality service every time. Book now at offgridrvbermuda.com and discover the sleep, serenity, and scenery you've been craving.
One thing my granny used to always say, happy nights can lead to sorrowful days. That's right, a hot gal summer can lead to permanent consequences. So when you're out enjoying the holiday, don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Stick to the speed limit, and whether you support Somerset or St. George's, always stick to the wicket. This is a message from the Bermuda Road Safety Council.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis thrown at me.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as opposition leader?